Hey guys, Teryn here at the Girlz Inc. studio in Las Vegas. Thanks for joining me and my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do. I've got lots of really great videos and permanent makeup topics coming, in the works right now, and I'm super excited to share them with you. So today I'm going to talk about aftercare. Aftercare is one of those topics that lots of different opinions on. Do you dry heal? Do you not dry heal? Do you put ointment on right away? Petroleum, non-petroleum? All kinds of different opinions, and that can be really confusing, especially if you're new to the industry. So I'm going to simplify it for you. I'm going to give you my aftercare instructions. This is the aftercare protocol I've been following for about 9 or 10 years. How I came up with it was experimenting, right? I'm a very curious experimental artist. I want to see for myself if something works or not. So many years ago, well, back in the day, I was using A&D and Vaseline, like many of us was 17, 18 years ago. That's what we were taught. And then as I got involved in the industry and started honing my skills and learning, I kind of thought, there's got to be something better out there, and I kind of wanted to get off and away from petroleum and into something a little bit more natural. So for about a year, I'd have clients come in, and on one of their brows, I would use, an ointment and with a set of instructions, maybe a dry heal, don't use any ointment at all, and on the other side, give them an ointment and have them start using it right away or whatnot. Just two different types of aftercare instructions and maybe even products for each set of brows or eyeliner. And I'd have them go home and heal, have them come back in a few weeks and compare the difference. And I did start seeing a difference. Maybe not a huge difference, but a good difference in my healed results. And so I started digging into that a little bit more, and then over the years I've really just developed my own aftercare on how I like all my clients to heal, and it works really, really, really good. So I wanted to share that with you. I'm a big believer that I think aftercare starts in the procedure room with us, with cleansing. I teach, I travel all over the country, and I'm always talking to other artists and students, and what I find is a lot of technicians are not properly cleansing their procedures when they're done tattooing them. They're using like colorium or distilled water, sterile water, saline, and those are not cleansers, you guys. All those make a really good rinse, for the eye, rinsing the eye after you're done tattooing it, but they're not cleansers. So when we're done tattooing a procedure, no matter what it is, we need to cleanse it with a proper cleanser. Okay, so there's two different cleansers that I use. First, I use the Tea Tree Toner made by LI Pigments. It's all natural, antiseptic tea tree toner. It's made with tea tree, of course, and it's really, really good. It cleans everything but the eyes. It will sting the eyes, so we don't use this on the eyes, but we use it for brows, lips, areolas, everything. It smells really good, and you can be assured that after you cleanse with this, the area is clean. It's perfectly clean, and that's what we want. And there's also healing agents in this. So not only are you cleansing the area, you're also starting the healing process and the aftercare process, okay, which is really important. The second product I use is the eyeliner pre and post cleanse. And we use this for the eyes. It's also made by LI Pigments. It's all pH balanced naturally for the eye. There's no chemicals in this. It's antimicrobial, antifungal, and it is one of my favorite products. I think everybody that tattoos eyeliner should have this. It's fantastic. Now, you don't squirt this into the eye. It's not a rinse. It's a cleanser. So you just clean the area really, really, really good before you tattoo the eyeliner, and then after you're done the eyeliner, you post cleanse with this. Okay? So really important. Aftercare starts in the procedure room with us. So now once I cleanse them, then I give them their aftercare kit. And I just give them a cute little sandwich bag, and it's got their aftercare instructions that are all written out very clearly for them. They get my business card, they get a little chocolate, and they get their healing balm, their healing ointment. What I give them as a healing ointment is After Inked. I have been using After Inked and giving it to all my clients for 6 or 7 years now. I fell in love with it so much. I saw a difference in my healed results that I called Mary Jane Hockey and asked her, can I be a distributor for After Inked? I've got to get this out into the permanent makeup industry. It's that good. And she said yes. So big shout out to Mary Jane Hockey. Thank you for bringing me aboard the After Inked family. And I've been carrying it on my store, talking about it, educating technicians about it ever since. So big fan of After Inked. Now there's 2 different formulas. There's the lotion, feels like a lotion. It's a little bit lighter and it comes in the white tube, feels just like a lotion. And then there's the black tube, and this is the MPJ, which stands for non-petroleum jelly. Okay, but there's no petroleum in it. That's why it's called non-petroleum jelly. So both formulas are all natural, beeswax based, enriched with grapeseed oil and other natural healing properties. So they're both really healing to the tattoo and the skin, which is really important for our work. And again, what I really love about After Inked is there's no petroleum and no chemicals. It's just a really good, solid, high quality healing ointment. It's made right here in the US in an FDA approved lab, which is super important. Everything we use in permanent makeup, we should know where it's made and how it's being made, okay? You don't want to be buying, you know, aftercare products that are made in somebody's kitchen or, you know, studio. We want to make sure it's being made properly in a lab under the strictest of conditions and guidelines, okay? So that's this product. So let me show you, there's something cool about the white formula, which is more the lotion feel. And it's the pillow pack. It comes in a pillow pack type pouch. So what that means is right here, this little flap, and you're gonna have to show your clients how to do this, but they just tear this off like that, and you give a little squeeze, and it comes out just like that. And when you rub it into your skin, it just melts right into your skin. You can't see it. It feels really good. It's very light, like a lotion. So a lot of clients like this because they don't feel like they've got something greasy on them and shiny. It's not telling at all. It just rubs right in and it feels really, really good. I actually used both formulas on my healing tattoos. This is a pretty new sleeve, you guys, that I'm working on. And you know, on a couple of the tattoos I used the lotion, and on a couple of them I used the MPJ, just seeing if there was a difference in the healing results, and there wasn't. They just feel slightly different. They just feel a little bit different. Now, once they get a little bit out and put it on their eyebrow or eyeliner, whatever, then they can reseal it. So you just fold this over, and you can see that little tab, and there's a little slit right there. So they just fold that back over, tuck it in. Yep. You know, my hands are a little lubed up. Tuck that in just like that, and then presto, it's resealed. So the ladies can throw this in their purse. They don't have to worry about it leaking out or anything getting contaminated, which is really nice. So you open it back up and squirt it, and then you can just retuck that and reseal it, which is really, really nice and convenient, and clients like that. The MPJ doesn't come in a pillow pack yet, but it may be in the future. Okay, so Both formulas are good for everything we tattoo. You can use both on eyebrows, eyeliner, lips, areolas, scalp, body tattooing, powder brows, microbladed brows, doesn't matter. Both are excellent. Now, my own personal preference is I prefer this on lips. So I don't really prefer this on the lips. Reason being is, like I said, it's a little bit more like a lotion, so it just kind of feels very light, which is really wonderful for brows and liner and everything else. But on the lips, when we tattoo lips, you know, they're a little uncomfortable, they're tight, they're chapped feeling, and I prefer something a little bit heavier, a little bit more emollient, and that would be the MPJ. So I do give all my clients the MPJ for their lips. And then between the rest of the procedures, brows, eyeliner, areola, it doesn't really matter, okay? Both are fantastic. And if you want to give your clients the lotion for the lips, you totally can. It's just, I think the MPJ just feels a little bit better on the lips. Okay, so now let's get into my actual aftercare. So clients, we're done tattooing and we're going to cleanse. We're going to cleanse both areas really, really well, okay? And then we're going to give them their little aftercare kit, and it's going to have After Inked in it. And so, and they've got their instructions. So I do a dry heal. So each area, first let me start, each area, the brow, the eyeliner, the lips, my instructions vary a little bit from area to area, okay? Mostly they're the same, but vary just a little bit. So I do a dry heal, but not an entire dry heal, okay? I like my clients to do a dry heal, no ointment, in the beginning, and then start applying ointment a few days into the healing process. And let me tell you why. When we tattoo a client, we've created a wound, you know, and all wounds weep. They weep liquids, body fluids, serum, oil, blood. Some of the pigment's going to be pushed back out by the body. So while the area, the procedure is weeping, it makes no sense to me to put ointment on it, because then it just gets really icky and gunky, and they're just constantly having to blot. So, and I think they waste ointment. And so I just don't have them put ointment on right away. Now there's people out there that will say, well, I studied wound healing and wounds should have ointment on it right away. And you know, that's totally cool, and they're right. But this isn't just a wound. This is a wound with pigment in it that we want to hold as much pigment as possible, right? When we see our clients back in 6 weeks, we want pigment to be in there. We don't want to have to do a lot of touch-up work or any at all. So yes, it's a wound, but I think it's unique because it's a wound with pigment in it. So I don't put ointment on them right away. And I think it's important just to let the wound, the tattoo, the procedure, just let it be. Let the air get to it and let the oxygen get to it, right? Because oxygen is very healing and powerful all on its own. And let it weep without anything on it. Now, we don't just let it weep, right? So if it just weeps and the body fluids come to the surface and they're allowed to stay on there, then they start accumulating the body fluids and they harden, and then you get a heavy scab. We all know by now scabs are not good for our healed in color. We want to keep scabs to a minimum with our work. So it's very important that when the client leaves us, that they blot. They press and blot the area several times that first day. So I tell them just to get a paper towel and get it damp with cool water at home, wring it, and to press and lift, press and lift, press and lift, and to do this several times. When I'm working on them, if they happen to have been bleeders, you know, they're really juicy. That's what I call my clients, that lots of bleeding, lots of oil, lots of lymph. They are juicy. Then I'll have them do it like every 15 minutes. Just press and blot, press and blot, press and blot, and then get a clean part of the paper towel and do the other side. Don't rub and drag. And I explained to them that this is really important. You know, let everything weep, but it's important that you keep those weeping fluids blotted off. And I explained to them, if you do not, then those fluids will come to the surface, they'll sit there, they'll accumulate, they'll harden, you'll get a big scab, and you can lose more color than we want you to lose. And once you say that to a client, then they kind of keep that in their mind the whole time, because, you know, they want their work to heal really, really good. They've you know, paid a lot of money for it, and they want it to heal as good as you do, believe me. So important that they blot and press, okay? So now, no ointment, just blot and press. I do have them cleanse once or twice a day, okay? Now, a lot of people, they don't have them cleanse, especially if it's a hair stroke or a microbladed eyebrow. They don't want them cleansing, and that's fine. You know, everybody, you know, I am non-judgmental. I don't really care what anybody else is doing for aftercare, but for my own personal aftercare, I treat our powder brow, ombre brow, the microbladed brow, the hair stroke machine brow, all the same, all the same. Eyeliner, lips, everything that I tattoo or we tattoo here in the Girlz Inc. studio, we do have them cleanse. Just get a light cleanser, I think like Cetaphil or Dove or something like that, something mild, no fragrance, and once or twice a day, just with a very light touch, a very light cleanse, rinse it really good, make sure they got the soap out, and then after they cleanse, after they get the area wet, they have to let it air dry 10 or 15 minutes. Never put ointment on a wet or a damp tattoo. So, and that's in my instructions, so that's really important. And then once it's dried out, 10-15 minutes, and then go ahead and start applying their ointment if it's that time in their healing agenda. Okay, so now you know, I do a little bit of a dry heal, and I do have them cleanse once or twice a day, and I use After Inked. So let's go over each area real quickly. So the brows, I have them dry heal anywhere from 24 to 48 hours. 24 to 48 hours, no After Ink, no ointment, no nothing. I just want them to leave it alone. Let it breathe, let it weep, and just do their pressing and blotting. Cleanse once or twice a day, press and blot, let it breathe. That's it. 24 to 48 hours. Now, if they were really juicy when I was working on them, then I might tell them, you know, go the 48 hours. If they were dry and I'm not getting a lot of lymph or bleeding when I was working on them, then I'll tell them 24 hours. Or I'll tell them, look, you feel it out when you get home. You know, if when you're pressing and blotting those first 24 hours, you know, you're getting a lot of lymph, then maybe go that extra 48 hours and no ointment for a total of 48 hours. And then after 48 hours, then they start applying their ointment 3 or 4 times a day, 7 to 10 days, just a light layer, okay? Eyeliner, it's a little bit, the dry heel is a little bit longer. The dry heel is 48, a minimum of 48 hours to 72 hours. And again, that depends on how swollen, how juicy, how weepy they were when I was working on them, and how juicy and weepy they are after they leave us. So if they're pretty good, you know, after 48 hours things are drying up and the swelling's starting to come down, then 48 hours is appropriate. After 48 hours, I will tell them go ahead and start using your After Inked, your ointment. If at 48 hours they're still, you know, swollen, they're still teary, a little weepy, I'll have them extend it to the full 72 hours. And they'll start using the ointment after 72 hours. Okay? Now, with eyeliner, I don't have them put it on as often. I have them put it on once in the morning and once at night. Maybe once in the middle of the day if it feels dry and tight. But that's it. So more is not better, especially around the eye area. Now, when it comes to lips, I don't have a dry heal period because, and the reason being is the lips, like we talked about a little bit earlier, they're dry and they're tight and they're taut and they're uncomfortable. And I think it's almost cruel to make them wait 24 hours to put something on there. I mean, the lips are just craving something on there. I've had my lips done, so I know. So I do have them put ointment on right away, and the lips is the one area that I'm pretty specific. I like the MPJ. And I do put it on them before they leave me, and I give them a couple of packs, and I just tell them, you're going to have to reapply often. I still have them press and blot. It's still important to have them press and blot because the lips are going to weep. They're going to weep blood and lymph, and we've got to keep that blotted off so they don't get a lot of scabbing. But by blotting off the lymph and the blood and the ook, of course they're blotting off their MPJ as well. So they're going to have to reapply the MPJ very, often. So that's why I give them extra, okay? So, and that is pretty much my aftercare regimen. Now, Q-tips, a lot of people like to use Q-tips. That's totally fine. Personally, when I'm home healing, I like to use my fingers. And I know there's a lot of people out there like me that would rather use their fingers. So I just tell my clients, look, you can use Q-tips if you want, but if you're like me and you want to use your fingers, that's fine. Just make sure your hands are clean. Wash them directly before applying your ointment. Wash them really good. Do the happy birthday song and wash them really good. And then just put a little bit of ointment in your finger and then just go ahead and, pat it in the bottom. For brows, it's important to come this way, and then if they have hair, come backwards and get the ointment beyond the hair. We don't want to just go this way and all the ointment sits on the hair, right? We want to get it beyond the hair, down into the skin and the tattoo, because After Ink is so healing. There's just lots of good healing properties in it, so we want to get that down into the tattoo. And I think that's really it. Of course, all the particulars, no picking, no scratching, anything like that. I don't want them exercising for a good week. Don't expose it to sun. All that particular stuff that is pretty general across the board, okay? And that's pretty much my aftercare. So I dry heal for a period of 24 to 72 hours on brows and eyeliner, depending on the area and whether they're really weepy or not so weepy. And on the lips, I do have them put ointment right away, but it's critical, all areas that they press and blot, they keep those fluids, those weeping body fluids, blotted off using a damp paper towel. Okay, what else? Let me see. Let's just, well, this is our After Ink right here. They come in packets. And what we're doing is, of course, you've been seeing my little Aftercare sitting here. It's front. So this is everything I talked about and so much more. It's really particular. This is fantastic just to put into your little Aftercare kit that you send home with your client. This is not specific to After Inked. These are my instructions, and they just work really good with After Inked. And on the back side, of course, is a few more instructions, and then the healing agenda, what the client can expect on lips, eyebrows, and eyeliner, day 1 through like day 30. Like day 1, they expect this, this, and this. Day 10, it will look like this and this. So that's really good for the client too. So they can look at this and see that they're right on track with their own healing. So this makes clients feel really good and they love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this baby up and we are going to put them inside our packs of After Inked. So when you order After Inked from us, you're going to have the Girlz ink, my personal healing aftercare instructions in the pack with you, okay? So that will make everything really easy for you. And then you can copy them out and take Girlz Inc. off it and put your own name on it and whatnot. And if you're on social media, you know, if you're a licensed permanent makeup artist and you're on social media, I have a board. It's called Girlz Inc. Products and Education Board. And we've got over 3,000 permanent makeup artists on there from all over the board. And we talk about this. We talk about aftercare. We talk about needles, machines, pigments. We talk about the problems and dilemmas us artists get in. We support each other. We talk about lots of stuff and we have fun. So it's a fantastic board. So if you're on Facebook and you're a licensed permanent makeup artist, please reach out to us if you're interested in getting on our board. And I think at the end of this video, I'm going to have the pricing on After Ink listed. And but you can always go to my website. It's girlzinc.com, www.girlzinc.com, and on the little sidebar it will say Aftercare. So you can click on that and you can see that we have the Aftercare both in a 25 pack and a 50 pack. We've got the tea tree toner. That is a tongue twister. And we also got the eyeliner pre and post cleanse as well on there with all the pricing and whatnot. And I can tell you, everything's priced really, really fair. Really fair. And again, these are all products I've been using in my own personal practice for many, many years. They're all products that I really believe in, and they're made with integrity. And there's a lot of thought, care, and concern behind the products that I use and we carry on the store. So all right, you guys, I'm not going to hold you up anymore. All right, I hope you enjoyed my tutorial on Aftercare featuring After Inked. All right, you guys, again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And as always, leave your comments and questions. I enjoy them. And all right, you guys, have a good day, and I'll see you next time.